Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for July 2020. For this month's monthly reading, we'll be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. I also chose a single card for the collective from the Starseed Oracle deck, a brand new deck that I got very recently. So the Starseed Oracle deck is by Rebecca Campbell. Your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. That's another new deck of mine that I just recently got. And that's also by Rebecca Campbell. So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been patient with me getting this up. As of recording this, it is July 1st, and normally I would have it published by now. So thank you to those of you that have been looking for it and have been patiently waiting. So let's start, before we get into the energy of the month of July, with what your stones of choice are. Okay. All right. So the first stone of choice here is this beautiful apophyllite wand. Now, usually when we have crystal wands, they have a point to one side or the other, but this apophyllite wand does not. So it has more of a gentle effect, which is good because the apophyllite is a very high vibrational stone. It looks like clear quartz crystals, and you can see that it looks like it's a cluster of those crystals. And so these are apophyllite crystals, and again, they have a high vibrational energies. Helps with moving into your higher dimensional, fifth dimensional light body, helps you to connect with the angelic realm and higher dimensional realms of light, even the star realms of light. This is something that can raise your consciousness, raise your vibration, help you along in your evolution and growth. And again, because neither of the ends is pointed, again, maybe it has this more gentle effect with moving you into that higher level of beingness. This to me is crown chakra energy, opening up that crown chakra to higher divine guidance, higher awareness, looking at things from a higher perspective of things in life, as a lot of you are experiencing, do not make any sense right now. So the apophyllite here is going to help us to, again, open up that crown chakra and look at things from a little bit of a higher spiritual perspective. Your second stone of choice is this beautiful big citrine. Now, citrine is a stone that a lot of us do possess. I really like this one because it is a large citrine, and when I sit it on my table like this, I can actually place other stones within it to help to energize or cleanse those stones, which is one of the properties of citrine. Citrine is one of those minerals that does not retain negative energy or lower vibrational energy. So if you carry it on your person or meditate with it, it's going to help to clear your chakras, clear your energy bodies, clear your mind, your heart of lower vibrational emotions and feelings and any kind of energies that you may have picked up from other people. It again also helps to cleanse negative vibrations or lower vibrations from your environment or anything else that it touches. Again, whether it be another stone or if you're trying to spiritually cleanse any item within your possession, this stone is going to be helpful with that. This is also a stone that relates to the solar plexus chakra because of that golden yellow color. So this is going to help with your sense of willpower, your sense of self-confidence, with you shining your light, with your ego in such a way that it gives you this courage to move forward. And it just has this very happy, joyous, kind of vibrant energy. It is also known as a stone of prosperity and abundance. And then your last stone of choice. This is something that you may not see a lot of, and it's a smoky quartz cluster. Now, oftentimes we see clear quartz clusters like this. We see citrine clusters. We see amethyst clusters, but it's more rare to see a smoky quartz cluster. And when we do see a smoky quartz cluster, it's often what's called irradiated, which means it's heated up so that the stones become darker and more smoky looking. And sometimes they do that to a clear quartz crystal in other words, they're burning it to make it look like a smoky quartz. But this one is actually a lighter color than sometimes what you see smoky quartz clusters, which means it's actually authentic. It's not something that's been irradiated or burned or heated up, which I don't like, when they take stones and they make them different colors by infusing them with something or heating them up. I like the natural, just kind of from the earth and what it naturally looks like. And this has a lighter kind of smoky color to it, which means it's a natural smoky quartz. And smoky quartz is a stone that helps to ground your energy. So it relates to the root chakra, the base chakra. However, it's still quartz. So it has this higher vibrational energy to it. It can amplify energy like a quartz, but it helps to ground it so that it's not just kind of staying out there in the ethers, so to speak, so that it's not causing you to feel unfocused or not grounded. This helps to bring things into manifestation on the third dimensional level. And the fact that it's a cluster is really great for group work. So if you're doing some sort of group humanitarian project or group endeavor that involves you and one or more people, or whether you're trying to assist other light workers or other people with helping humanity or the world or the planet in some way, this is great because of its group work cluster kind of thing. It has, it kind of reflects that many people are coming together, and if they're not coming together physically, which often we can't do these days, right? We're still in this semi-quarantine mode, although we're able to get out and about, we're still being asked to restrict ourselves from coming into contact with other people. So this group work, this group endeavor work can still be done online. It can be done via a distance with each person in their parts of the world doing their part. So again, your stones of choice are the apophyllite wand, the great big, I almost want to call it a boat, citrine boat, and the smoky quartz cluster. Okay. So now that you've seen your stones of choice, let's start by talking about the energy of July. Now, July moves into being a master number 11 month. And how we get that is we take the universal year number of 2020, which is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, which gives it a 4 universal year vibration for this year. And the number 4 can be fraught with challenges and delays and difficulties and moving forward step by step, but slowly, needing to have patience and determination, which has definitely been what this year thus far has been about. Now, we get the universal month number, the number vibration for the month of July by taking that 4 universal year and adding it to the month of July, and July is the 7th month. So if we take 4 plus 7, that equals that master number 11 vibration. And master number 11 is the number of the light worker. It's the number of the visionary. It's the number of leadership. It's the number of taking charge and owning your own sense of self, your individuality, having confidence, courage, taking action and making things happen. Now, the lower vibration, or the reduced vibration, which I prefer to call it, is 2. If you take that 11 and you add the 2 ones together, you get a 2 vibration. And that number 2 vibration, as far as a universal month vibration for July, does talk about needing to attain a sense of balance. We need to stay in balance. We need to stay in harmony. We need to even have patience. Sometimes the number 2 is about having patience. The number 2 is also a focus on relationship and partnership matters of all kinds, whether it be a romantic relationship, a business partnership, family or friendship relationships, those one-on-one relationships to where there's you and the other, which is that number 2. So again, there might be things to work out in this month of July in relationship matters. There's a focus on that, as well as that, again, that balance, that harmony. The number 2 is about intuition. It's about peace. It's being the peacemaker. But again, that being made up of that master number 11 is again about the self and leadership and taking charge. So you have to kind of balance your own individuality with the other people in your life in this month of July. Now, the 11th major arcana card in the deck, because I always like to look at the universal year or universal month vibrations according to the tarot as well, which has significance. Major arcana number 11 is the Justice card. In the Syrian Starseed Tarot, it's called Divine Justice, and you can see Lady Justice here, the feminine energy holding the scales of balance, holding those scales. And the scales are about balance, just as we talked about the number 2 being about balance. Now, she's also wearing a blindfold, and oftentimes in traditional tarot decks, she is wearing a blindfold, meaning to me, from a metaphysical perspective, that you can't always see necessarily what's happening. And so you kind of have to look with your spiritual eyes and not your physical eyes, or you need to trust and have faith with what's being shown to you, because maybe you're not seeing everything quite yet. You can see that in this rendition, she's in this energy of the universe. You can see the universe here and the stars of the sky, and she's within kind of that universal energy vibration. So things are happening on a universal level. Things are happening on a cosmic level, but we might not be able to quite see how they are going to unfold yet. But be assured that there's going to be an equaling out of the scales, so to speak. Oftentimes the Justice card, the scales here, represents karmic balance, a karmic rebalancing that is taking place. And in this particular Divine Justice card, the scales are in a balanced state. Sometimes in other renditions of the tarot, one or the other side of that scale is kind of tipped so that they're out of balance. But to me, with this being a balanced scale and Lady Justice or Divine Justice holding those scales, things are going to come back into a karmic rebalancing. Now, it might not be overnight, it might not be even within this month of July, but be assured that this is the beginning of things starting to balance out. Now, I don't necessarily mean with people, although we can hope, but this is about the universe. This is about the collective. This is about things on a collective, karmic, cosmic, universal energy kind of level, to where things that have been out of balance for a very long time, masculine and feminine energies out of balance, third dimensional structures, big business, money organizations, etc., out of balance with the higher spiritual perspective and meaning of life. So these things we're going to start to see come back into a sense of balance, and karmic justice will be done. Divine justice will be done. Again, maybe not overnight, and it might be some weeks or some months to come, but we're starting to see a rebalancing of karma as far as what is being put out and what is being brought back in by certain groups, individuals, organizations, etc. So this bodes very well for humanity coming back into a state of harmony and balance and eventual justice again being done. So let's talk a little bit about the astrological highlights of the month of July. So when I talk about the astrology of the month, I don't hit every single thing because that would take a very long time, and that's what the weekly angel card readings are for. But to hit the highlights of this month of July, the first and most important thing that's going to happen, may not be the first thing that happens, but to me it's the most important, is going to be on the 4th of July. The 4th of July we have a full moon lunar eclipse. Now, yes, in June we had a full moon lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. That was the beginning of this heightened, intensifying energy unfolding that is bringing changes and redirections on a collective as well as a personal level for ourselves. And then on June 20th, now that full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius was on June 5th. On June 20th, 21st, we had a new moon solar eclipse, which also was this new beginning. Those eclipses were bringing about completions and then new beginnings, death and rebirth, letting go versus initiating something new. And now this July 4th full moon lunar eclipse is at 13 degrees of Capricorn. And it's the third of the eclipses, and then we won't have another eclipse until towards the end of 2020, at the end of the year. we'll have another set of eclipses going into from 2020, the end of 2020, going into 2021. But with this particular full moon lunar eclipse being at 13 degrees of Capricorn, Capricorn rules our goals, our ambitions, it rules our career path, life path, destiny path, it rules our sense of authority, and it rules authority figures too, which brings in the third dimensional construct. To me, I always think of Capricorn as kind of, again, big business, big money organizations, people in authority, people that are in kind of power and control position. And this lunar eclipse will help to shake things up a little bit, even more than the first eclipse, to bring about eventual change. Now, we've already seen the beginnings of some changes that are happening and maybe starting to unfold. And again, just because the eclipse is over on the 4th of July doesn't mean that all the changes or redirections are over with in the beginning of the month. It's going to be the weeks and even months to come that will see some of these changes. And a lot of astrologers will say that we see the changes from a certain set of eclipses continuing until the next set of eclipses. And so with the eclipse happening in Sagittarius, it was bringing a shift within our belief systems on a very short and brief level. Sagittarius rules our belief systems. It rules our philosophies, our religion, how we see things, how we think about things. The new moon solar eclipse was in Cancer, so there was things going on the home and family level. And when we speak of that as far as the collective, we could say community, communities of people is Cancer. And it's, the earth is our great mother. So with Cancer ruling home and family and love and nurturing and the mother, on the collective level, we're talking about the planet, the earth mother. So there was new beginnings with that new moon solar eclipse. Now with this lunar eclipse in Capricorn, again, we're talking about the completion or resolution of some of those Capricorn things that we mentioned: business, career, authority, and the third dimensional forms or structures, I guess is the best way to say it, is the third dimensional structures of society and the collective. Now, before that lunar eclipse, or as that lunar eclipse is starting to build and happen on July 4th, we do have Saturn on the 1st of July retrograding back into Capricorn. If you remember, Saturn has been in Capricorn for a couple of years now, but dipped into a few months ago into the first couple degrees of Aquarius, from 0 degrees Aquarius to 1. I don't know if it made it to 2 degrees Aquarius, and then it went retrograde. So it's been retrograding back those first couple of degrees of Aquarius, and now on July 1st it re-enters Capricorn. And Saturn is the planet of restructuring. Saturn is the planet of karmic lessons. Saturn is known as the great teacher of lessons, and Saturn uses time and patience and step-by-step movement to restructure either one's life or restructure again the collective of humanity. And since we're talking about the collective a lot here, this is giving us time, as Saturn is going to be retrograde for a few months here until September, towards the end of September. So we're being given this opportunity to continue very patiently, very slowly, with determination and perseverance, this restructuring process. Now again, that's also happening on a personal level as well. So if there's situations and circumstances in your life that need restructuring, Saturn is here to help us to restructure, rebuild, reorganize, and to do so, patiently, because we're needing to build a solid foundation for ourselves personally and for ourselves on a planetary level. So Saturn can indicate restrictions, limitations, challenges, and delays. Saturn is also known as Father Time, so it rules third dimensional time. But that's part of the blessing of Saturn, is that it's giving us the time to do what we need to do or learn the lessons that he's trying to teach us in order to move forward. Now, Chiron is another thing that's happening this month. Chiron, the wounded healer and shaman, is turning to retrograde motion at 9 degrees of Aries on the 11th of July. So already here, these first few days of July, because Chiron is so slow moving, we're feeling this energy kind of rise up and intensify within us as a collective and within us on a personal level. Aries is the sign of the self, confidence, independence, new beginnings, planting new seeds, taking charge of our lives, independence, if I didn't say that already, and on a collective level as well. So here we are as a collective trying to find out who we are and take charge again. For so long, the collective of humanity has given over or given away their power to, quote unquote, those people that are in positions of authority. Now with Chiron turning to retrograde motion, and again, we'll stay in retrograde motion for quite some time until mid-December, for quite a long time, it's giving us this opportunity to go within ourselves, because Chiron, any planet retrograde, kind of turns the planetary energies inward. So this Chiron wound is being turned inward. This Chiron healing is being done on an inner level to find our sense of self again, to find our courage and our confidence, our identity, and to take charge of our lives, to take charge of our destiny in some way, shape, or form. So that is also happening. And then the rest of what's happening this month, I found it very interesting that Mercury, because we start out July with Mercury already in retrograde motion in Cancer. Now on the 1st, the same day that Saturn moves back into Capricorn, Mercury retrograde in Cancer is challenging Chiron. And since Mercury is retrograde and Chiron is slowing down to turn retrograde, it's going to amplify those energies as well. The interesting about this is that Mercury is squaring Chiron the wounded healer twice this month in July, because once Mercury turns back to direct motion, which is going to be on the 12th of July, it will then connect with Chiron again. So Mercury rules our thoughts, our ideas, our communications with other people, as well as how we communicate with ourselves. It's in Cancer, so it brings up home and family issues again. It brings up those that we're very emotionally close to, those that we have an emotional bond with. And Cancer is also very intuitive and an empathic and sensitive sign. So it's bringing up some emotional conversations or emotional thoughts or ways of thinking, since Mercury rules the mind or the mental realm. Now again, Mercury on July 1st and then again on the 21st of July is challenging Chiron, bringing up that wound of our sense of self and our self-identity. Mercury also this month is going to be challenging or squaring Mars, which has recently gone into Aries just a few days ago, the end of June. Mars is the warrior, Aries is the individual. Mars rules Aries in traditional astrology, so he's really at home here. He wants to move forward, and he wants to move forward fast. He wants to find his self-confidence again, and he wants to feel, this sense of energy and passion, and let's get things done. Let's take some actions and move forward fast. Now, Mercury, again, ruling the mind, our thoughts and our communications, in a square or challenging aspect to Mars, might bring up some challenging communications, some fight or flight types of energies. And it is connecting Mercury and Mars on the 8th of July, and then it's going to connect again on the 27th of July. So Mercury is connecting with Chiron in a challenging way twice this month and connecting with Mars in a challenging way twice this month. So I thought that was very interesting. Again, look to a lot of home and family dynamics with that Mercury in Cancer connecting with both Chiron and Mars, and whether it's your biological family or, again, those that you're really close to, your partners, even your friends, those people that you have this emotional connection or emotional bond with is where some of this is going to come up. And then on the 20th of July, we have a new moon at 28 degrees of Cancer. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is that we had a new moon solar eclipse at 0 degrees of Cancer on June 20th. So the very first degree of Cancer is where that new moon solar eclipse on June 20th, 21st was. Now on July 20th, we have a new moon. It's not an eclipse, but it's another new moon in Cancer. Usually we only have one new moon in a sign and one full moon in a sign every month. But because of that 0 degree solar eclipse, here we are a month later with the new moon on the 20th of July. That's happening at almost the last degree of Cancer. It's not quite. It's 28 degrees and some minutes. The 29th degree would have been that last degree of July, but still in all, it's the second new moon, meaning again a new beginning with our empathy, a new beginning with our sensitivities, a new beginning with our intuitions, a new beginning with home and family matters. And some of those new beginnings could have definitely been some transitional energies. It could have been transitional energies with family members, leaving one dimension and moving on to the next. It could have been transitional energies of families or loved ones moving out or having some separation, at least in the short term, if not the long. So there was definitely a lot of new beginnings, and maybe new beginnings with the family system as far as how are we operating as a family because of the COVID-19 virus. How are we operating now as a family with money matters, because so many people's money and finances has been affected with the quarantine and the COVID virus, and how things are slowly now unfolding and changing on a collective level. So these new beginnings will continue with this next new moon in the sign of Cancer. And then I'm looking to see if there's anything else that stands out. Oh yes, we didn't mention the day, or did we, that Mercury goes back to direct motion. Mercury is turning back to direct motion on July 12th. I think maybe I did mention that. And then, some of these miscommunications or misunderstandings or, faulty technology or missed meetings and circumstances will start to iron themselves out. It goes direct at 5 degrees of Cancer, so the early degrees of Cancer. And Mercury will not move into the next sign of the zodiac, Leo, until August. So look to Mercury being in that sign of Cancer for the rest of July. Now the Sun does move into Leo on the 22nd, which is the time of the year that the Sun moves in to Leo every year. And then again, very early in August, we'll have Mercury following suit and moving into the sign of Leo as well. So that's a little bit about the astrology of the month. Let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides for the month. So I pulled 3 cards, and can you believe it? 3 cards came out. A lot of times there's 4 or 5 cards coming out, and especially these last couple of weekly readings, maybe even the June monthly reading might have had more than 3 cards, but this one stayed at 3. So let's turn over the first card here and see what it is. Okay, so the first card, interesting because we start out on the 4th of July with that full moon lunar eclipse and this intensity of energy, right? And by the way, that full moon lunar eclipse at 13 degrees of Capricorn is connecting to Uranus and connecting to Chiron. I failed to mention that earlier. And Uranus brings quick, sudden, unexpected shifts of movement, but it's in a positive connection to Uranus. But still, you can expect the unexpected with that Uranus connection. And the connection to Chiron, as Chiron is slowing down, getting ready to turn retrograde, is a challenging square aspect. So again, it's bringing up some karmic past life wounds, both maybe on an individual level, but also on a collective level. But the first card is the Hanged Man. And I find that interesting because instead of the intense and sudden movement or changes or expansion of energies that an eclipse might bring, the Hanged Man is what starts us out here in the month of July. In this deck, it's called the Hanging Man. And this is usually about kind of staying at a standstill. Either the energies are at a standstill or we need to be at a standstill. We need to kind of surrender and let go and let things be and just kind of be in the moment. And if you look at this particular rendition of the Hanged Man or the Hanging Man, this is showing a person, and rather than hanging by 1 foot from a tree or tree branch, he's hanging by 1 foot from the top of a pendulum. So he's inside of this crystal pendulum. It almost looks like a smoky quartz pendulum, which is interesting. And that pendulum, that crystal energy to me is kind of surrounding us with this amplified energy, which is this full moon lunar eclipse. We're surrounded by this amplified energy, but yet we're needing to surrender and be still, which is what the Hanged Man is doing. He's surrendering and he's being still. It's not quite time yet to move forward, which is interesting too, because Mars is in Aries and we want to move forward, and maybe we are on some level moving forward. But to me, this is saying don't move forward too fast, because Mars is going to, in a couple of months, go into retrograde motion, and then we're going to have to kind of retrace our steps when he goes retrograde. So move forward if things are leading you in the direction of moving forward, but at the same time, there might be some energies of surrender, letting go, being still. And you can see that here the Hanged Man, his crown chakra is all lit up. So he is, and he probably has his eyes closed, which he does. I just had to take a quick, more close look. He's got his eyes closed as if he's in a meditative state. His crown chakra is lit up. He is upside down, as the Hanged Man always is. So he's looking at things from a different perspective. He's needing to maybe shift his belief systems or look at things from a higher perspective, indicated by his crown chakra being lit up. So this is about us in meditation and contemplation, and looking at things from that higher spiritual universal perspective. What's really going on the collective level? What's really going on with humanity? What's really going on with the changes that are coming about as a result of the COVID virus? Why was that even happening? You know, what was the purpose? So the Hanged Man is kind of surrendering and going within, being still to kind of receive some of those answers, even though around him things are amplifying. So on the environmental level with this eclipse, things may be amplifying, but yet we're needing to kind of surrender, go within, stay still, and try to understand, again, from that higher spiritual perspective, what is really going on, both on a collective level and maybe in our own personal lives as things unfold. So let's take a look at the next card here for the month of July. Okay, we have the Five of Chalices. This is like the Five of Cups in the traditional tarot. And the Five of Cups, the cups, of course, is about emotions and feelings. And whenever we see the Five of Cups, we can often think that there's confusion or chaos or feeling hurt or disappointed, or, you know, there's usually some depressing or sadness types of emotions going on. And you can kind of see that with the woman here sitting by the stream. She's got her head in her hands. Now, she does have two cups that are upright next to her. The other three cups are spilled over and in the stream. They've kind of been knocked over and they're in the stream of water here. So, you know, the water itself is showing a lot of emotions. The cups that are knocked over are showing maybe heartache or things that have happened that have hurt us in some way. Things that are causing us to feel deeply emotional in some way. But the thing that she's failing to recognize, there's still two cups right here on the bank. And they're standing upright. And they're filled with blessings. And so this is a reminder to open your eyes, you know, to open your eyes and look at the blessings that are still intact in your life. Maybe it's partnership, family, loved ones. Maybe you still have your job. Maybe you still, you know, are comfortably living with a roof over your head and food and finances coming in. Maybe you have support from people in your lives. Maybe the blessings, if something happened with your job or happened with your living situation, was that people, family, friends, you know, someone was there to help and take you in. So look for the blessings that are still standing and allow yourself the time to feel those other emotions and to move through them, but don't let them rule you. You know, we shouldn't sweep what we feel under the rug. We shouldn't try to dampen our emotions. But we need to recognize them, and we also, though, need to surrender sometimes to them, but we need to move through them. And, you know, after we've felt them and moved through them, we need to allow ourselves to not be ruled by those emotions, those feelings. And we need to recognize, again, that there's people in our lives, or there's still things in our lives that bring us blessings, that bring us abundance and prosperity in some way, that bring us good feelings and good emotions in some way. And those are the things that we need to focus on as we move through this month of July with all of the perhaps changes and redirections that these eclipses are starting to unfold within our lives. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the last card and see how we're going to end this month. Okay, well, this is good because this is Major Arcana number 7. This is the Chariot. Now, the number 7 numerologically does sometimes mean confusion and chaos and things being uncertain or unclear or not having all the puzzle pieces. And the Chariot itself is usually about opposing energies that need to come into a balance before we're able to move forward. Usually in the Chariot card, we have one horse moving off to the left and the other horse moving off to the right. And therefore, if one horse is going in one direction, the other horse is going in the other direction, you're not really moving forward that well, right? You're kind of at this, kind of like a crossroads or at a standstill, or just, you know, you're not able to move forward full steam ahead like Mars and Aries wants to do. In this deck, we have 5 horses instead of just 2. We actually have 2 horses kind of leaning in one direction, trying to move that way. We have these 2 horses leaning in the other direction, trying to move that way, but that 5th horse is in the center. And that 5th horse is moving straight ahead, full steam ahead. So I like this particular version of the card because instead of just having 2 horses going in opposite directions and not moving at all, this is saying we're moving forward, but maybe not as fast as we would like. Because again, we have to rein in these opposing energies and we have to bring all 5 of these horses pointing in the same direction first. So as we're moving through July, we have to have patience again as we're reining in these opposing forces or balancing out these different energies in order for us to be able to move forward in a more timely manner or at a faster pace than maybe just where this one horse is carrying us. But there's still forward movement. That's the positive with this particular card, is there's still positive movement forward on the path. So the other thing about the number 7 is trust and faith. Have trust and faith because there's still movement and you're being led to the right direction. You're being led to the right answers. You're being led to the right decisions. But you do have to listen to your intuition. The number 7 means listen to your intuition and don't get caught up in the ego mind. Don't get caught up in the analytical mind. And don't ruminate on, avoid ruminating on a particular thought or idea that is not necessarily positive, okay? Allow your mind to move in a more positive direction and have that faith and trust. Now let's take a look at the message from the Starseed Oracle. This is for the collective as well. So turning that over, oh, this is beautiful. The Starseed Oracle says, I remember, and it says at the bottom, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. The fated life versus the destiny life. Okay, well, it kind of reminds me almost of that Divine Justice card, because the karmic scales of justice can show us very fated in karmic events in our lives, things that we're kind of atoning for, or things that the collective of humanity is atoning for, things that happen that are kind of fated. What comes around goes around, what you put out you get back. But the destined life is kind of what you choose. It's your free will choice, choosing what direction you want to go, choosing what decision to make. And the I remember at the bottom here is you remembering who you are. You're remembering that you're a beautiful, blessed, intelligent, gifted soul of the universe, child of the universe. Remember your confidence. Remember your truth. Remember your destiny. Because in times past and in other lifetimes, you have fulfilled your destiny, or you've brought out your gifts and talents. You've followed your passion. And this is where you need to remember. We've gone through several lifetimes of kind of what we call de-evolution, of spiraling down into this third dimensional reality of not feeling like we have any power, not feeling like we own our truth, or feeling like we have to follow the masses, or some people might say follow the master, follow those that are in positions of power and control and follow the rules. And I'm not saying to not follow the rules, but you do have to remember who you are. You have to remember your divinity, Remember your divine truth. Remember your divine gifts. Remember your courage. Remember your confidence. Remember that you're unconditional love, that you're a part of that universal source God energy. Remember who you are and move into your soul plan. Okay, move into your soul plan. Your soul, your higher soul self knows what your plan, your soul plan was all about. So move away from the fated life, meaning what's going on around you right now and how it seems to be. Move away from what seems fated and move into what is destined. You are destined to be prosperous, abundant, happy, joyous, intelligent, in love, in partnership if you want that, in family if you want that. You're destined to be whoever it is you want to be and experience the life that you want to experience and experience the emotions and the feelings that you want to experience. So move into that remembrance and move into your soul plan. That's a great, great message. So let's go ahead and take a look at a message, a special message from your angels and guides from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. I'm just going to give it a little shuffle here off camera. Work Your Light. Okay, so calling in our angels, guides, master guides, and teachers of the light, calling in the archangels, ascended masters, ancestors of the light. And for those of you that chose the apophyllite wand, special message for apophyllite wand people. Special message for apophyllite wand people. I'm looking for one to kind of stand out to me. This one here is sticking up. Actually, two of them. Okay, I'm going to pull both of them because neither one said that it was the one. So the first one is boundaries. Where do you need to have better boundaries, apophyllite people? Where do you need to set your boundaries better? Look at all these people that are trying to vie for your attention or trying to get you to do something or want you or need your energy. So you might need to learn to say no to certain people or certain things. Your time is important. Your health is important. What it is that you want to do versus what others want you to do is important. So have better boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Okay, let's take a look at the second card. Maybe it'll give us more of a clue here. And it says, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. So what I feel here is that all of these other people, and this could be also just indicative of situations. This could be your job, your family, your work, your, whatever it is. So whether it's people or situations pulling at you, pulling you in this direction or that direction, vying for your time, you're feeling overwhelmed. And here this is saying to keep facing your true north. Keep facing your true north, meaning stay on your path. Stay firmly with your truth. Stay, standing in your truth. You're already doing it. You're doing something that you know is your truth. You're following your path. You have an idea of your path or where it is you want to go anyway. You've already at least got it in your mind, if not already starting to follow it. So don't overthink. Don't allow all these other people or situations to pull you off your center, okay? Instead, keep facing your true north and keep walking your path. Keep walking towards your truth. Keep moving towards your truth, whatever that might be. Those people that are supposed to continue to be a part of your life will continue to go with you or follow you or be with you or support you. Those situations that are supposed to continue to be a part of your life will continue to be there as well. But those that are not will fall away potentially. But it's important to tune into what your truth is and to keep on moving towards it. All right, those of you that chose the citrine boat, as I like to call it, citrine boat people, special message for the citrine people, special message for the citrine people. This one's calling my attention, and I'm sorry, it's only one. Okay, it looks like we have to pull another card because it says, yes, just say yes. Isn't that beautiful with the three goddesses coming together in a group and forming this kind of temple of light above their heads? Either the light is coming down or they're sending the intentions up, but it says to say yes. Just say yes. So I feel like you're asking, what do I say yes to? Okay, so let's go ahead, I guess. And it looks like we might be pulling 2 cards for everybody. So what are the citrine people supposed to say yes to? Give us more information or clarification on what they're supposed to say yes to. Break the chain. Break the chain. It says ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So say yes to letting go of the past. Say yes to breaking the chains, letting go of the past, letting go of the ancestral karma, letting go of how it used to be for your family generation after generation. Maybe it's about a belief system. Maybe it's about an idea. Maybe it's about a situational way of living. But you're needing to break the chain and move through the healing and rewrite your future. No longer do you have to be burdened or restricted by old karmic belief systems or old karmic patterns or old ways of being. It's not a part of your destiny. Just because it was in the family system or the family line generation after generation doesn't mean it has to continue to be that way. This is about you taking your power back and rewriting the future. This is about you saying yes to you, saying yes to breaking the chains of the past and moving towards whatever the future holds to you. Move into the unknown here. It's like this woman here is moving into or nearing a cave. She doesn't know what's going to be in that dark of that cave. That might be her subconscious. That dark cave is her subconscious where all of those patterns are, and she's going to be releasing them. That dark cave might also be the future of the unknown, but that's the future she needs to move into. Perhaps on the other side of this entrance to this cave, because we can't see it, there's an exit to the cave that brings us into a new light-filled path, a new reality of who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. So it's time to cut the cords to the past and move towards rewriting your future. Okay, for those of you that chose the smoky quartz, smoky quartz cluster people, special message for smoky quartz cluster. Okay, let me tune in for a minute. Smoky quartz cluster, I gotta close my eyes. Smoky quartz cluster people. Okay, this one is calling my attention. I'm going to put it down though because I want to pull the second card. Second card, clarification card. Second card for smoky quartz cluster people. Second card for smoky quartz cluster people. Okay, this one's calling my attention, so we'll pull that out. Okay, let's look at the first card here. So the first card was the Star Mother. The Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? That looks like almost Mother Mary to me too, right? So calling on the divine feminine, the healing of the divine feminine, the nurturing of the divine feminine. And, you know, Mother Mary or this divine feminine figure bringing nurturing to you means you bringing nurturing to yourself. So the first thing in July that you have to do is become your own mother. Become the Star Mother, okay? Which means, again, to me, you know, not just the lower vibration of the mother energy as we think of it, but this is being like this true, divine, feminine energy of love and healing and nurturing and empathy towards yourself. So how can you mother yourself? How can you move through any hurt emotions like that Five of Cups? How can you move through the confusion, the doubt, and take care of yourself? This is really about doing some self-healing. Self-healing through maybe, you know, I think of things like relaxing bath, time out in nature, meditation, getting a massage, getting some healing work done. This is about you and eating right, you know, doing things that really kind of nourish your soul and nourish your spirit is where it's at right now. Let's see what goes along with this, what further information about nurturing yourself or what happens when you nurture yourself. What's the next step? Let's look at that other card that we pulled. This is answer the call. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? as you nurture yourself, as you love yourself, as you support yourself like a mother who supports a child, you're going to be moving into answering the call of your spirit, your true higher soul self, the direction that you're meant to go in. You're going to be answering the call to what your soul is calling you to do. But maybe first, maybe in the beginning, we need to do some healing work, some self-nurturing work. Because maybe right now you're dealing with a lot of changes or emotions or things that have happened that first you need to heal from. And then as we move through the second part of the month, you're going to be much stronger and able to answer the call of your spirit, to answer the call of your soul. Feel like, this person is almost in a kind of a meditation contemplation as she's sitting there, nurturing her spirit, nurturing herself next to this river, body of water, out in the mountains, out in nature. To me, it even looks like there's a rainbow energy back here. The clouds are sort of in a rainbow formation. So this is having some silent alone time to nurture yourself and then hear what spirit and your angels and guides and your higher soul self is whispering to you. And then answer the call to that guidance. Answer the call of your soul in what area, direction that you're needing to go next. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the monthly angel card reading. I send you all lots of love and light for this month of July, and many angel blessings until we see each other at the next weekly reading, or I see you on Facebook, or I see you through my website, or however it is that you wish to show yourselves. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. I feel very honored to assist you, and I feel very grateful for all of your love and support. So again, sending you lots of love and light, everyone, and many angel blessings.